smoke, but that had a good motivation.
I mean,
No, I still have to clean off my bed, obviously, but you know, that's.
Hey, you know, any accomplishment in that direction is worthy of note, I suppose.
Or is your room all clean now? Are you done cleaning your room?
I'm taking a little break right now. There's other stuff like surfaces and stuff that need to be cleaned, but that's like gonna take some organizational work.
Yeah, it looks better. Were there like cabinets or something open in the back?
Oh yeah, that was my It makes it look way worse.
Yeah. Oh my god, yeah, close that. Nice. Good job. I'm proud of you.
Thanks. Just throw everything in the closet and on the bed. My room's clean. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, you could always hire somebody, and
Well, that would require me actually having money.
What do you do?
I was gonna say that would require trusting someone to like mess with my stuff.
Right now I'm a student, but I'm looking for like summer work and stuff because I'm not going to be able to finish my degree unless I can pay for it up front. Like, I'm not going to take out any more loans and stuff. Like,
I thought you were like a chemistry teacher already.
No. I'm undergraduate. I just have like proctored labs and stuff like that in the math department, and I've done research in the physics department and like, you know, interdisciplinary stuff. I've been really involved on campus, but I'm still an undergraduate, albeit a super senior because I've changed my major a couple times.
Why don't you major from everything at once?
Because I would be in debt for like 8 lifetimes. I don't know.
Then you could then claim yourself bankrupt and move to Europe.
That's always an option, you know, or faking my death. So.
Nah, that would cost too much money when you're already in debt.
Not everything needs to be paid for.
So you just kill some bald guy and throw him out the building? How would you do that?
I don't know, but I'm sure there's a way. Also, these pre-roll packages make a really nice sound.
Oh, that
Lovely.
looks nice. What is that?
Pre-roll packages.
Willie's Reserve. It's like really nice top shelf, but and each one is like a gram, so they're pretty nice.
Hmm.
Audra's Mystery Science Theater, The Return, good enough for you to recommend?
Yeah, it's actually,
Yeah,
they did a good job.
Check it out.
Have you watched any of the old stuff?
Not even one.
Well, they've got a collection of the old ones on Netflix, and then they've got the new season too. It's kind of funny because they make the new one's a little easier probably for some people because it is a lot the quips are a lot more modern contextually, but they also make quips like jokes back to some of the old episodes, which is funny. It's like inside jokes. Always the best. Hardy har har. You should at least watch the Manos, the Hands of Fate, because it's so bad.
Which one is that?
It's one of the old episodes. It's called I think it's the first one on the collection they have on Netflix. It's called the movie that they were riffing on was called Manos, the Hands of Fate.
It's so good it's bad, or it's so bad it's good.
It's so bad. It's like they're all really bad, but it's just like it's in a class. There's a class of even worse that one occupies.
This is kind of random, but are any of you guys any good at like pretending that you can speak another language? And
absolutely no knowledge of speaking another language, or are you saying like
an actual language, or
no,
talking
like
about
where
area?
like 完了要话，希望接下来还是话，现在话，这个话意思改给了话，改啥？这话过。
Wanakumbe.
I think you just told me to go fuck myself in like 10 different ways. I feel like in order to fake Japanese, it's like you just got to say.
I think it's not actually faking a language. It's called like any non-prefigured out communication.
Oh, what is it? Yeah, I can't say it.
You really think that's any?
Do it right.
Also když umím,
Don't
That's
ever
a
talk
good
my
minute,
brother.
I think.
Yourself, you say.
But that's what I mean. Like just kind of like stream of consciousness, like channeling like a reading, and then like
Just kind of patterns of language.
Yeah, I do that.
like the way that people like on Star Trek like make up the languages, like
Já nemusím předvádět, že umím jiný jazyk. Já jiný jazyk umím. I když mi to hrozně sere.
Zvratli zblak.
And will they actually know if they're speaking actual languages? I don't know,
Yes.
but all I have to say is
if Eric comes in here, we should all just speak to him in like random like just be like, oh, he's just like, what the fuck? Like, why is
Now we see that Zach's language is clearly described as weeaboo. No, I feel like as far as like imitating like any sort of Japanese thing, it's like you just say like a random set of syllables. You start with oh, like you make that sound, and then you go into it, and then you just end whatever sentence with nandesta. It's just like, oh, so she put the guy in there, nandesta. So we get to the guy.
Welcome to Walking with Famous People.
Yeah, definitely, if anybody comes in new today, we should.
あなたはひどいです. Nah, that ain't. Hold on.
I think it'd be cool if we could somehow communicate something without actually communicating anything. And I mean, like verbally, maybe just through
I guess
tonality or something.
theoretically you would be communicating that you're not communicating by not communicating. So then, in fact, you would be communicating. So I think you've got a paradox in your hands, Ken.
You know what, Audra? That's good, but I'm still gonna stick with shut your whore mouth on that one, even though it's good. I don't know. Just maybe it's pride making me say that. But
あなたはたわごとの作品です.
it's a bullshit.
That sounded like something actually real.
Achugale, Ken. Achugale.
Sound like something what?
What Ash said sounds like a real language.
I just
Probably,
mix
it's
up
probably just telling us to go fuck ourselves
so
in
many
Jack.
mixes of other languages and just make my own like bastard language. And somebody will catch a word that they're like, I think I know it, and then it'll go to another. It'll be another language, and then some nonsense, and then yeah. People get the inclination that they think they know what I'm talking because they'll catch a word, familiar word, but then they were wrong. So it's fun. Actually, it's not. I do it accidentally. It's like, oops, that vocabulary does not fit in this context. It's like the damn clicker in that Goliath show, Ken. Did that make you want to reach for the TV and strangle William Hurt? Kenneth? Val got it.
What? What was that? Strangle who?
William Hurt in the Goliath show.
William
His
Hurt.
clicker.
Oh, the clicker thing? Nah, because I do
Clicker.
shit like that.
Oh man, I not frequently actually have difficulty resisting breaking things, but people that like snap their fingers and click things like that to get your attention, like
Or like have really loud computer fans that won't shut up. Yeah, I know.
no,
Fucking
that's
assholes.
okay because it's not it's regular. It's not intended to get my attention. Yeah. I was just.
I used to do
asking
that with,
if you guys hated it as much as I do.
Back when Sobe still sold their drinks in glass bottles. I used to do that with the bottle caps. Because they would click, because they had the pressure thing on top of the bottle cap, so you'd click them. Be like,
The casual clicking's not that bad. It's that.
oh no, it was straight up like
Interrupt.
OCD. Like I need to continue to click. Like I've had it before where I'm like clicking or doing something or tapping something, and I'm like I refuse to give up until I reach like 100.
You were counting
No, not counting, but I mean like until it felt like 100.
until it felt like 100.
So it probably feels like 100
What does
anywhere
it-
between 70 and 120 is when it feels like.
Yeah, I
100.
was gonna ask what 100 felt like. You know, that-
Without the box.
I'm just going with the image in my head though for the future for my own amusement is that you've got Clovar. One of Clovar's like victims is trapped in something and is slowly clawing the walls in an extremely regular fashion. They're kind of the victim was OCD and so they're trying to claw out of the box.
I'm sometimes thinking about going into Raw and looking at the 20 seconds after I leave just to know what people actually think of me. So when somebody will just say, "Oh,
It's
that
always
guy is a fucking
disappointing
idiot,"
because what you find out is that they didn't actually talk about you, which is the worst. That's even worse
exactly.
than saying bad things.
I mean, not all of it, but most of my shit talking is directed at people while they're there. They have to be brought up by someone else in conversation. And then I might still do it, but it's more just like, it's like, oh, there's shit talking to be had about somebody. Well, let's bring them in here. Let's see what their response to it is.
I think sometimes people will mistake analyzing someone's behavior for shit talking, which kind of gets on my nerves.
Well, potato.
So, like,
I wouldn't say that it's potato though. Like,
As far as people's perceptions of it, more regularly.
they're not saying that it's like an objective truth, but like, oh well, I've observed that they do this, and this kind of indicates that they may have some
Jesus,
ego
Neptune,
issues.
quit shit talking, man.
People
Yeah.
really do take that personally, though, even though you're just like making observations and connections. It's weird.
Well, you aren't making observations about
So-
Neptune, so it is
When a
perfect.
person leaves, So when a person leaves, they just stop existing. They are not an interactable with object. So when a person leaves the RAR room, he doesn't exist, or she doesn't exist until they come back.
Yeah, I mean,
Start
people are like,
satisfying.
when you come in these rooms, like, you should understand that people are going to view you as a specimen. Part of, like,
Yeah,
I don't
people
know.
forget that this isn't one like giant experiment.
Yeah, like, that's what we're here to do, is understand people. So why would I not try to understand you either? Or why would I make an exception for you, rather?
So like, this is a really elaborate human zoo.
Mm,
Kind of. I would disagree with that.
Here we have a specimen of an INFP.
The tranche.
You know, it's good to treat people on the internet with the same sort of general rule that you do horses. If you can't see them, and you're sure that and they appear to be alive and moving, then assume they're dead. So that way, every time you see them again, you're just happy because you're like, ha, they're not dead.
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to go with people on the internet too.
One thing I was gonna say is there's this wonderful thing about words where it's like you say something that might be offensive and whatever. Because I think Neptune was saying something, about like people getting offended and whatnot. I was like, there's this wonderful thing about words though, is that once it leaves your mouth, you know, you're just sort of like, well, that's not mine anymore. That's an idea now. That is completely, the ball is in your court. You choose what it's like throwing a hot potato and somebody's like, how could you give this to me? It's like, you do realize you're holding it though, right? Like, do something with it. Like that's yours. Like that is, like if you're going to be mad at me that I dumped this idea on you that you now have to deal with psychologically.
yeah,
I'm inflicting something upon you. You're having to come to terms with some sort of.
I like where your head's at, Ken. It's not my problem. It's your problem. You clearly have problems, person who's offended. That's not actually my problem.
Yeah, and it's like, now that you reacted to this hot potato of an idea this way, now I have like so many other ideas that I want to throw on you.
So it's basically just Neptune in a room with a sack full of steaming hot potatoes, giving people like first-degree burns by just chucking hot potatoes at them. We're like, Neptune, what the hell? And he's just like, stop reacting.
I mean, I'm not going to pretend that I'm non-reactive when
He's like, I'm just trying to help you reach Zen. I'm just trying to get you to the place where you're reacting authentically. It'll be fine. It'll be good.
I won't
He's like,
confess
Neptune,
anything.
why? And he's like, I am helping.
I mean, I'm just as reactive as anyone else, but I try to step back and like think about where the truth is and what someone's saying and where they're coming from.
I try to step back too, but I still get hit with hot potatoes all the same. So.
Yeah, I'm not immune to pain. But
Oh, and hello. Oh, hello there. I felt like channeling
just came on.
my inner
Elsie?
Nigel Thornberry. What?
I was just looking to see who came on. I assume it's Elsie because I didn't notice her on the screen while ago.
Yes.
Hi, Elsie. Love how you guys have such, theoretically altruistic framings.
Theoretically altruistic. Don't you use that fucking word around me. Not theoretical, but altruism.
I was just, I throw hot potatoes at people less often, perhaps, but the whole point is basically, I do it more in real life, and the point is to see them react.
Uh-huh.
And the more they do, the more you want to throw potatoes at them. And the people that reliably react to the potatoes are like, so convenient. They're like, Nick, I threw the same potato like 10 times, and you did the same thing. I'm like, it's beautifully predictable.
I feel like the FE, the FE mobilizing people, like the ENTPs, I feel like they're throwing the hot potatoes primarily for the reaction.
Is that a duck?
Yeah, it's chicken. Or no, it's duck.
The other thing is that
It's a
we
chicken
don't
duck.
we don't usually notice that we don't always notice that they're hot potatoes. Sometimes we do, but we also just throw a lot of potatoes. We have a very hard time distinguishing temperature.
But I feel like when the reaction's there, it's like, that's what it is.
Exactly.
Like-
Oh, that was a hot one. You're like, huh,
Whereas I feel like for myself, it's like I feel like it's more like let me just throw all these hot potatoes because I would very much like to receive logic and things like that. Like I want to figure out like the more impersonal sort of logic or laws guiding things, but there's all these reactions around them. So if I exhaust them with my endless supply of potatoes, then we'll be able to get down to brass tacks.
like you're knocking down the potato defending walls so that you can see, what's hiding back there.
Neptune, is that going to be the video of the horse eating the... Oh, no. Never mind. Elsie was on the duck thing and made me think of that video of the horse. There's a baby chicken walking around and there's this horse in this video and the horse walks over and just eats it whole. I was like, what the fuck? I've never seen a horse do that. It's just like, oh, make a snack.
I haven't seen one.
Everybody's like, that horse is a dick.
Horses are.
My mom was talking about how her foster parents had a horse named Colonel Diablo. They used to ride it bareback, and it would take corners at 90-degree angles and just leave them sitting there in midair.
Yeah, I had a professionally trained. He was a heading horse, and but he had some indications of future disease, and so the guy that trained him wouldn't sell him for like $30,000-$40,000 or whatever people wanted to give him for him. And for whatever reason, he gave him to me. And that thing would turn on a dime. Like, my parents were scared to let me ride him. Took me to convince them. He was fast, and he would turn on a nickel. Good horse, though. Because everyone is now called Zach.
Thought that was interesting because my dog, he's a Yorkie mixed with poodle. When he was younger, not so much now because he's really old, but when he was younger, it's like that. Sometimes there'd be rabbits in the yard. We're surprised because he would just seems like he would just change direction at like a 90-degree angle and just keep chasing them, and the rabbits were like, fuck. It's like other dogs that stop and they're like, oh, whoa, I overshot. But him, he's just like, no, fuck you, I'm coming. I don't know if INFJs are rare, man. They're everywhere. It's like popping out of the cabinets, just like, hi, how you doing? Just like
never with that much energy, just like floating out of the cabinets and being like, hello.
hello.
How are you? Tell me about you.
So one thing I thought was funny is Zach Attack was saying that wait, you're wearing green? Is that green, Elsie? Look. What you're wearing? That's supposed to be green? Well, I see gray. They're both wearing sorts of green. Not the same green, but okay. But it's just like on the keyboard or something. Don't you hate it whenever you're trying to type up a memo and a duck gets stuck in your keyboard?
You see the little paper clip on Microsoft Word, like, I see a ducks on your keyboard.
Yeah. God, I forgot about that thing. Yeah, bro, the early 2000s wants its joke back.
Nice.
Did any of you have like that talking purple gorilla like malware that was like you could sit on your desktop and then it had like a Microsoft Sand voice and you could like make it say anything you wanted and there was like this purple gorilla, the banana. It was like Clippy but like on your desktop.
It's like Clippy, but a heroin addict.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a paperclip, but actually a gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like INFPs are more rare than INFJs. And ENTJs, thank Christ, can't find them hardly anywhere.
I like ENTJs. Come on.
Just I was kindly distracting everyone from your noise making. See.
Right. No, everything is not okay. I'm having a yelling match with what appears to be Screen Door Godzilla. But no, Zach was saying that Zach was saying that it's like the 479 Enneagram tri-type is like the INFJ of Enneagram. It's like everybody's a 479. Everybody's an INFJ.
I don't know that I found many INFPs or NFPs or NFs in life before, like, college.
Well, I mean, college, NFs, bleeding heart, liberal. I think there's a connection.
No, thanks. Yeah, true. True.
And I love it. I think they're great.
I do find the skewed demographic here wonderful.
I don't think I've ever met.
If ENTPs and INFJs and associated and INTPs.
There's like no INTPs or ENTPs anywhere in my life. I don't think I've met really any ever. Probably INTPs I have, but I don't think maybe ENTPs in passing.
We're always in passing.
That makes sense, actually.
Yeah.
I knew way too many ENTPs in college. Like, oh my gosh. It was like everywhere you looked, there was another one.
After I started thinking about it, I realized that I have actually quite a few ENTPs, but they're pretty distant and very rarely at the same time. But it explains why I like them so much. Because people are like, oh, that's why we get along so well, is it? Never thought about it before. Do you have a clingy duck, Elsie? A needy duck. And somehow all the discussion has moved to the chat.
Yeah.
Anybody want to talk out loud?
We're talking about people aspiring to be a type based on descriptions and thinking that they are that just because they aspire to be that.
Do you think there's a correlation between specific types wanting to be specific other types?
Of course.
Yeah, I feel like it has to do with like your inferior functions, like wanting to compensate for those or feeling like you need to.
I would think that like your third function, at least in socionics or the hidden agenda kind of thing, like that might be something that you might think that you're a dominant type of that. So like an INFJ, for instance, might mistake themselves for an INTP, and then I don't know.
Yeah. I have this theory of like 18 to 25. It varies for everyone, but you sort of get fixated on your third function. I was talking about this the other day. And so a lot of people will mistype that. Like I thought I was an ENFP for a while. So it's like, oh, I'm a feeler. No, I just feel some people. I just feel it out. So
Being confusing. I don't know what you're saying.
I would say
It's
that I
like
decided
thinking
to
that he is a
start
pronoun.
using my third function more intentionally when I was in that age range. But
Wait,
I never
sorry?
used to get to be dominant.
apparently when I was like 5, I tested ENFJ. It's kind of
When
fun.
you were 5?
Yeah. Or
Your
7
parents
or
are into
something.
that stuff?
Yeah, my parents weren't that into it. My grandpa was a ISTP who was into it in his later years, and he had everyone take the test.
Yo, Magnus the Second, are you still here?
I think the only things I've ever typed as an INTP actually quite a bit, and I've typed as an INTJ when I was like early teens.
That's funny.
I typed as INFP once. Probably INFP.
I've never typed as a feeler.
Well, I think if you're an INTP who's turbulent, it might be easy to mistake yourself as an INFP.
Yeah, that's happened to me. Like when I test, like in high school and stuff, I would end up with that. And I've always kind of looked at the description of like behaviors, sets of like INFPs, and I'm like, yeah, I feel that way sometimes, but you know, it always matches. Like comes back to favoring INTP really for me.
Mm-hmm. I don't like the descriptions of INFPs. I think they need to change them. It's very like, I don't know, like the stereotype is very like floaty, like kind of, I don't know how to describe it, but I think you know what I mean. Like kind of like nothing in their head, but like a bucket of feelings. It's kind of weird.
Like hyper emotional.
I don't know. It's just they kind of like look at them as like children in a like negative way.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of do feel like a child, though. Like, I feel like a child, but also like an old soul, but also like an old soul, but with a child's eyes. I don't know.
INFPs are old souls in minion suits.
And the INFPs are interesting. It's like, because it's not, because I feel like INFPs, my observation really is like they're, or, you know, the I guess the normalized ones, kind of the ones I run into, but they take the hits because they don't let things slide off, you know, like, but they're really good at doing it. Like I admire them for that. They're like people throw stuff at me and it's like I just kind of just slides off. Like it doesn't even hit me most of the time, so I don't actually have to like deal with it. But I feel like FI Dom's like, or you know, ENF or INFPs, I've seen that. It's like they take the hits and then they deal with it.
Yeah, they know life's all about pain.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, it's, I don't know, it's that.
I imagine they'll probably end up being more like surpassing the young INFJ in sageness. Like so, like an INFJ starts off very sage-like, in their life, kind of like, whoa, how do you know that at such a young age? But like over time, I feel like an INFP will just like master the understanding of the the human condition or something, and kind of develop that aura to them.
I don't know. That's why I kind of feel like an old soul, because I feel like I do take the hit, but then I feel like you have to, because that's like the human condition is like taking the positive with the negatives, and like the negatives with the positives and understanding them fully. But then having like a sense of wonder and like exploration and stuff is like the only way to like bring me back down to like de-age me, and like make things less shitty all the time. Because if you're just taking like life as it is with like all of the positives and all of the negatives feel really weighty. So then you have to like, I don't know, take life a hell of a lot less seriously. Like way less seriously to counteract the fact that you're taking life really seriously.
Really seriously.
Yeah, that's what it's all about right there.
It feels like.
So it's just constantly this this character outside of a character. I don't know, this double personality.
What do you think of the idea of like, kind of like Alan Watts' thing, where it's like life's a game. That doesn't mean you shouldn't take the game seriously. So you're like playful, but you're like there's like meaning.
Gotta refresh.
You know what I mean?
I kind of think the opposite of it. Like I wanna like take that description and like draw it inside out like an empty, like life isn't a game, but you should play it.
Oh, interesting.
I see. So like invert that whole thing, but
Yeah.
basically it has like the same result, like the same behavior anyway. It's just kind of like the reason why you're doing it is different.
Yeah, like you should take it really seriously, but you can fuck with it sometimes. Or like, but you can have a lot of fun. I don't know. INFPs are really stupid and strange and weird. We've got a lot going on in our brain noggins. It makes it really weird to like hard to understand other people sometimes.
Oh my god. I thought Firefox was going to be better than Chrome. No. Not for this.
Do you have other tabs open on Chrome?
This
Because
app
mine
sucks.
lags out.
I did, but I don't, but I
It's so hard.
will. We talking about how hard life is?
No, I said this app sucks. It sucks so hard.
Yeah, life is really hard.
I'm glad we're on the same page. Thanks for listening.
Oh, we are. Well,
ISTJs commonly mistype as ENFP on the test. Was that a joke?
Wait, what happened?
ISTJs commonly mistype as ENFP on the test. Was
I
that a
didn't
joke?
believe it.
No,
They share the same functions. I mean,
Yeah,
top 4
I've s-
functions.
I've seen it happen like 3 times out of
Really?
3 ISTJs that have taken the test. Yeah,
What about ENFPs mistyping as ISTJs?
that can happen.
That's
think-
so
I think
interesting.
a mistype is a ENFJ because the FE, FI descriptions are off or whatever. If they're 9s, I don't know. I'm gonna put this on the ground, get my knees in the picture a little bit.
So I have like an ant problem in my kitchen, and instead of going to the store and buying like some sort of ant repellent or something, I mixed up vinegar, cinnamon, and a little water, in hopes that it would repel them. So I wonder how well it's gonna work.
Gasoline works.
I don't want
You get-
gasoline on my countertop. It's gross.
Get a Nerf gun and shoot him.
Oh, on your countertop. Okay.
I've thought
I
about
was thinking
taking a
of
blowtorch to the windowsill, like just briefly, but I would be scared that it would.
Get
like,
a Nerf.
actually-
Get a Nerf gun. That works.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it actually does because
That's
I've
the
used it. I've used Nerf guns and they work.
Get rid of ants?
Yes.
There's like a million of them. They're everywhere.
Well, you buy a lot of darts.
It's so annoying. Fucking.
You take one that I have that's super powerful, and I literally shot an ant once, and its body blew up. It literally split into like 7 pieces.
That sounds like fun.
It was amazing. It was so satisfying killing it.
You should go for 8 pieces next time.
All right.
Are you asking me if I'm an ISFP? No, Elise.
Oh.
Elfie?
It's Elsie. Common mistake.
Get it right.
I had the same mistake the first time.
I'll die you.
I could say that I'm dyslexic. That's not true, but I could say.
Yesterday,
Sorry, I was responding to chat. You go ahead.
when I was saying, speaking of bugs, yesterday I was doing my laundry and I brought my phone with me and I was recording myself shooting cave crickets. Because I have those in my house and I hate them and I want them to die. That's my story.
In response to your chat comment is like, I think ENTPs cannot be trusted on a superficial on a surface level, but I think that if everyone gets to the point where there is like they do decide that they will be like reliable to someone, they are almost absolutely. But it doesn't go the other way. I think a lot of people are like trustworthy to a certain point, and then they fall off. And I think ENTPs are the other way. Like they're not trustworthy to a certain kind of depth, but then underneath, sometimes there's.
I mean, it's mostly that I've said it before, but I think that FI is like the most human function and it connects you to your own humanity. And that's the only way that you can really connect with other humans on a meaningful level. Because that should be the starting point, in my opinion. So when someone doesn't have that, it really freaks me out. Like there's some weird coldness that I don't like about it. And it's not like just superficial coldness where they don't make the right facial expressions or something or say the right thing. It's like a different kind of coldness.
Yeah, if it's not there, it's not there. But I think, like I said, it has to. It's not automatically there for sure. I don't think that's the default. I think it's if it's ever arrived at, like if a deep connection or like whatever. It's arrived at. I think it's pretty solid, but.
I just don't understand trust in general.
Like you don't understand why someone would trust someone or not trust someone?
I don't understand how it would change. Like, why not just trust everyone all the time?
That's what another ENTP, Eric has said that before.
Yeah.
Just like trust people out of like a basic rule of thumb.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's as a operating procedure. I think they tend to pick one or the other.
Yeah.
I guess if you're
But it has
normal,
nothing to do with FI. It's like a TI decision.
I guess
not-
normal
I mean,
like
what? Come on.
way of being isn't to be emotionally vulnerable, then you can trust people all the time.
Well, I mean, even when I'm being emotionally vulnerable and I'm trusting someone, I'm like, I might get hurt. That's okay.
Okay.
Well, maybe ENTPs just have better coping mechanisms. So they're like, well, if someone does betray me, I can handle it. But not everyone is equipped to handle that because they're very in touch with their FI, for instance.
Yeah, that would be my kind of
That
approach.
makes sense.
Be like, if I don't trust anyone ever, which seems reasonable, I won't do anything. So I might as well just generally give people the benefit of the doubt, and I basically put the burden on other people.
Yeah.
The burden of trustworthiness in a situation is on the other person.
It's not really a burden though.
No, but I mean the burden of like proving it to be true or false.
Right. Yeah.
And then I assume one, and then their behaviors or actions over time or whatever are the.
See, but that sort of invincibility and like lack of attachment to pain in relation to people is kind of what is scary about them, actually. Now that I think about it, it's kind of like you can't understand why someone would be damaged and hurt by something and be worried about not being able to roll with the punches. You know?
I mean, you can understand why someone would be damaged and hurt. It's just like that's a risk you're taking every time you trust anyone ever.
I don't know. I guess when you said I don't understand like the trust thing, but I kind of took it and ran with it. But
yeah, I'm just saying like I don't really have a problem getting hurt. Like that's a part of life, like we were saying earlier. So.
Then, if you're trusting everyone, then how does it affect your commitment, your ability to commit?
That is a good question.
Commit to what?
That was
a good answer.
How you are with
relationship.
Right, yeah.
Because if you're trusting everyone with the ability to hurt you or the ability to see everything about you or your feelings or whatever, then you're not really you're not discriminatory in like or discriminating in like who you choose to be close to and who you give yourself to. You know, like who is special to you.
For special people, we give
care about.
If we don't hoard it for special situations, it doesn't have any value.
I'm not saying hoarding, but I mean like in life there are resources that are precious and non-renewable, like time and energy and other things.
Except for Taylor.
You know, like inevitably you have to prioritize, and if you are trusting to everyone, then other people don't know what you're going to do because you're kind of, you know, like how are you committing, I guess, is what I'm saying. How does that affect your
I would say it's like
commit?
with the only commitment I see is
I'm just asking
spending time with someone.
Yeah, I was going to say time and energy are the resources.
Yeah, and so you like
that's what I give to more people over another, I suppose.
Yeah, so you just spend more time with someone, and that's essentially committing.
And vice versa.
Oh,
if
shit.
I'm like done with someone, like the negative aspect, that's what I remove from people.
Yeah.
I remove my time.
Like whenever I interact with them, I'm still gonna be honest and open as much as I can, and then just leave. Go hang out with people I like being around. Because it's like the trust thing is like sort of requiring to be honest all the time. So the more time you spend with someone, talking with someone, being around someone, the more of, well, I'm going to talk first person. The more time I spend around someone, talking with them, hanging out, the more of me they're going to see. Just because like that's the way that I shared myself, is like just here's a piece, 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 whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
As for, you guys talking about all this, like being so open and like trusting, like for me, it's very, very difficult only because like I feel so emotionally vulnerable, and it's like been in the past. There's like several events that have occurred that have like really, really, really hurt me, and it's like really hard for me to forget that, like to not associate those feelings with like reopening myself up to be, you know, and I know it like it's not something I necessarily want to do. It's kind of, you know, because inevitably like, cutting myself off from people and being, because I'm being way too discerning about who I let in. And so basically like barely anyone does, and then on those few people that I invest time into, like if they don't work out, like, it's like discouraging. But I don't know, it's so hard for me to separate emotionally like past events with present events, or future events. Like in terms of the emotional content, it's like time doesn't matter to me, I guess.
Yeah, same.
No seeming capacity for love. That's kind of harsh.
Yeah,
well,
I think like
I don't even get
appearance
offended.
problem
It's
is
so
the fact that we're a little too egalitarian in our behavior. It's if you don't see one or the other, if you don't see the stark differentiation, it's hard to decide if something's there or not.
You
I don't
like
wanna
have
say
to.
it is or isn't, but
Yeah.
You kind of just have to cross your fingers and hope that like the ENTP has come to like an ethical conclusion on their own and followed it out of principle, TI principle, as opposed to like FI principle, which is kind of
I was gonna
terrifying to
say,
me.
an ENTP that hasn't like latched down or has given up all of their pins down below, that would be pretty scary.
Zach is shaking his head. You disagree?
Yeah, I don't believe in being attached to principles. I have more faith in life than I do in judgments. So like
Without a principle, how do you weigh the value of anything?
you don't.
See, I don't believe that he's acting right now.
You just keep doing stuff. You just
keep doing stuff.
You do stuff, and then like maybe you do some other stuff or some other stuff.
That's such an alluring idea to me. I wish I could do that.
I think this is
It's
my
a very
theory
like
on the.
introverted judger thing to say. Extroverted. That's so not an introverted perceiver thing to say.
What?
I don't know if I'm getting the MBTI right.
Well, yeah, that's
Just
why I
the
don't
moment.
like. That's why I like the socionics definitions better, because it's like if your dominant function is a judging function, then you can live on principle and you can live by principle, and it works for you. If your dominant function is perceiving, so it's like to have INTJs or INFJs be Js doesn't make sense to me. Just like that's not the way that their life is lived.
So you followed me even though I didn't. Right. Yep.
Yeah, of course.
Cool. That's all that matters.
Yeah. See, no judgment. It's just the path. But then, so it's like for judges, you got to figure out those principles, those stuff, values, people will call them, or truths, or whatever. I don't know.
It's one of those things. Like I have 2 or 3 down what I call principles, but they're all like arrived at, and they're all could be like countered. They could be determined to be useless.
How long have you had them for?
On a functional basis, I have to have something to measure things against, or I can't make any decisions.
How long have you had those principles for?
I would say probably I concretized most of them when I was like late teens.
Oh, cool.
Many hours on a tractor.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I've spent a lot of time in my head, just like, well, what are you going to think about? You got to decide. Okay.
Yeah.
You should see some of the like philosophical essays that I wrote on my phone.
Should.
So you really feel like there was a period of your life where you like came to an understanding of what you stood for?
Yeah.
And you
before that,
like,
it was
wrote
always
it out.
People said that's bad, that's good, and I remember and I was pretty good at not like always. I didn't usually intentionally bug things, but I mean I would do things or say things, and I would get the that's bad, or that would be like, and you know, when you're a kid, you just kind of, you rolls off. You're like, okay, I won't do that again. So I can play more or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't really anything that I could back up. Like if you would have asked me, why is that bad? Since it's not something I would back up, it's not something I would ever try to explain to someone the value of, right? So that's why I feel like I had to come up with something, or else there was absolutely no foundation. Like, yeah, I mean, I have to have something that I value above all other things as a principle, or that I can take all arguments back to and weigh them against. Because in practicality's sake in life, that's more or less how things work. You have to, you know, I mean, politics or whatever, they say, are you for this or against this? I'm like, well, give me a second here. and then I always take it back to that instead of anything outside or objective or superficial.
Do you feel like you have to go through like a logic maze to get to the base, like to your conclusion of what you want to do in that situation?
It's not really a maze, but I have to go through a logic chain. Yeah, I got to figure out how that ties back in with one of the measuring principles.
Fascinating.
And then
I feel like it's one principles.
And then once I've determined that, then I can go, okay, then I feel okay about saying I'm for or against something or whatever. And I can explain why. I can say this is the foundational measurement that I weighed it against, and I found that value I found this possibility of this choice or this opinion to violate that principle. Therefore, I'm not comfortable with that opinion.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes I find things that don't tie back, and those are the hard ones. You're like, well, what you're arguing about has no foundation, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. So you take it back to something you know.
Something I've decided.
Right.
Taylor just sent me the greatest Snapchat ever.
Can I get a taco burrito and cheesy gordita crunch and a double-decker taco?
TI plus SI what?
It's the principle I was talking about, or the party hard principle.
No. Yeah, it's stored in SI.
Yeah. If you read Hume, he's all about experience.
And, I mean, another difficulty is that with NE, I feel like I can see so many perspectives on anything, and that makes it also hard. So I don't have like those jump conclusions that people seem to. Because I'm like, I see lots of possibilities here. Give me a minute. Let me pare down the possibilities and see which ones I actually can stand behind or whatever.
Elsie, can you show us your duck again?
It's a good duck.
Yeah, just one possibility would be nice. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Wouldn't that make things so goddamn easy?
No, that
sounds awful.
That would be.
You will suffer through infinite possibilities for the rest of your life.
I'd be so useless.